Right, what's happening, people, and welcome back to the Joey Knight podcast. And we are going back to our roots today with just a good old Chelsea news talking rubbish
Chinwag.
podcast. With just a chinwag.
You should trademark that.
Myself, Joey Knight, a very prominent member, I would say, of the Joey Knight podcast, and an even more prominent member, the big dog, channel fan favourite, Josh Aveste.
Yeah.
How you doing, mate?
I can't move, so I'm struggling, to be honest with you.
No, you're
I'm
strapped into
stuck.
the seat there.
You know when you watch something, at home and you think there's like a world outside? Basically, Joey and I just only exist in this studio and only in this spot, and we can't actually move. It's almost like another dimension. A Chelsea dimension.
Unless you're up at Stamford Bridge on Saturday.
Oh, yeah, but
Then we're
that's
both there.
another dimension.
Then
Just
we're
hop
both
into
there.
that wormhole.
There you go. There you go.
Are you going?
I'm going, yeah.
Oh,
Don't know how I'm going
you
with
can
you.
experience the Madries now and the buds.
Do you seriously think that I haven't already experienced the Madries?
What do you
and
think
the
of the
Buds?
new queuing system?
Stamford Bridge?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
They've heard that Joey Knight is in town.
I'm joking. I don't know. I'll have my first proper crack at it on Saturday, because for the friendlies, what was the game I went to?
Leverkusen,
the
On
Friday
the
one?
Friday, yeah.
Yeah, that was the one I went to.
Yeah.
For that, it was... I'm not going to get anyone in trouble. It was different. But I was treated very well. I was looked after. Got into the game fine.
God, this is what happens when you're a celebrity.
No, I'm not
This
saying
is
that.
what-
I'm
this
just
is what
saying.
happens
I'm just
when you're
saying
cushy.
there may or may not have been some complications. I've heard at certain gates, at certain football clubs in certain cities that could or could not be London based.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? But I know that I got in fines, so I was all right.
No, I'm not worrying about those queues. I'm talking about the beer queues.
Oh, the beer queues.
Yeah. I'm talking about your experience, because there's a new system. You pre-book on the computer, then you go up and you get your beer.
That's always been a system, though. Like,
Not in East Stand Upper. There wasn't. I was queuing up back in the day for a hot dog.
no,
10 minutes.
there's always been a system where you can pre-book it, but I don't. I just go to the cash ones.
I mean, when you go to the game, I'm going to want at least 6 Madries at half-time.
There you go. And pre-time and full-time. So either way, it doesn't-
18 matches.
and the other 6 days of the week. Either way, we've got a game coming up this weekend against Fulham. I will be in attendance. You will be in attendance. I'm hoping you're wearing that absolute beauty.
Can you see it?
From the old Nyla apparel. I
What does
haven't
it
seen
mean?
you in too many of
What
them.
does Nyla mean?
Nyla means winner in Arabic.
I mean, why wouldn't you want to wear it then?
There you go.
I mean, if you don't want to be a winner, don't wear it.
Winner or one who achieves.
Chicken dinner.
Nyla means. There you go. What we got? We got 10% or something, haven't we?
10% discount just for the Chelsea fans.
10% just for
That's
the
what I
Chelsea
heard.
fans. Proper Chelsea, yeah. It's in the description to the video. Anyway, let's speak about the pressing issue, which is one Mr. Nicolas Jackson.
He's very good at pressing.
Yep.
Probably one of his best qualities, I'd say.
Probably his only quality. Nah, Jake, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
You love Nicolas
Listen, right? I want to speak about Nicolas Jackson. The talk today is that there is a move nearing closer towards Bayern Munich. Now, this hasn't come out of nowhere, but it definitely is something that I would say has surprised me. I have long since felt like Nicolas Jackson was destined to play for another Premier League club, and I've never really made my mind up whether it was going to be Man United, whether it was going to be Man City, whether it was going to be Newcastle, or whether it was going to be Aston Villa. But I think we both felt it was going to be one of them, didn't we?
Yeah.
And for this move to Bayern Munich to not come out of nowhere, but to now be pretty strongly linked. They're saying personal terms have been agreed. Obviously, back in the day, that was the last thing you agreed. Now it's like the first thing you agree. Bit weird. Personal terms being agreed back in the day was almost as prominent as the here we go, wasn't it? Personal terms agreed. That was like the last thing we'd hear. Now, it doesn't hold that much weight in terms of meaning that a move is imminent, but it looks like something could be drawing closer. Do you have any information on it? Do you have any idea of a fee, contract, obligations? What do you know on Nicolas Jackson to Bayern Munich?
I mean, the key thing that I do know is that there is still a little bit of a bidding war. So I'm not necessarily certain that he will end up in Bayern in Munich. But
bidding war between.
well, apparently they're saying that Newcastle are still very interested in Nicolas Jackson's services. There are also rumours that Aston Villa could be involved. Now, I don't know where Aston Villa are going to find the money from because I don't think they've got a lot of it.
No.
But I definitely think that Newcastle could be a possibility. We saw them play again without a striker against Liverpool, didn't we? So they would very much still be in the market. But let's just take it for what it is. Bayern are a big club, Champions League football. Harry Kane's probably going to be starting for them. So maybe they see Nicolas Jackson as another wing option. All I know is that Harry Kane won't be around forever. And potentially this is the future planning. Get the deal done early. Get him ingratiated into the team. And go from there.
So you think that Bayern are looking at Nicolas Jackson and going, Harry Kane ain't going to be around forever. And, before Kane we had Lewandowski. Before him we had Muller. And after Kane we'll have Jackson. You think there's conversations at boardroom level going on?
There's a logical progression, isn't there? You go, do we need Haaland? And we go, not sure.
Well, no, just give me the meh.
Do we need
Haaland?
Haaland?
Meh. Yeah.
Any others? Number 9s that are on the market right now?
Well, not on the market.
Vlahovic?
Vlahovic.
Yeah, awful. No one wants him.
Lukaku. Ugh.
Yeah. Any other noises?
I
think Lukaku's a bit of a...
I'll give you one.
I think Lukaku's a bit like a...
Fuck off. You again.
Yeah.
Come on then.
Another interview for
yeah.
Not again.
I'll give you one who I'm on. Cunha. I mean, it's completely irrelevant because he's gone to Man United, but I rate Cunha.
He's a number 10.
Yeah, I know. That's why he's been kind of playing number 9 for them.
Okay.
With Šeško not being in the team, and he's been playing more centrally.
So, speaking of Šeško, if you're Bayern Munich, just seeing him at Leipzig, a Pender,
yeah.
But then you go Nicolas Jackson, and you go, ooh,
baby.
Very nice. You're telling me he could have a 13% conversion rate?
Hold on. 30 goals from open play across the last 2 seasons. About 1 penalty in there.
Premier League.
It's more goals than a couple of players that I can think of, you know. Well, I don't want to diss him in this video, but it is more non-penalty goals than João Pedro, isn't it?
It's more than Leon Delap.
Is it more than Leon Delap?
Yeah.
It is, yeah. Yeah.
Definitely at the Premier League level.
Look, here's the problem. When you say about Wideman, all right, Musiala's just been ruled out for the entire season.
A long time. That was a very bad injury.
Yeah. They have still got the one and only Serge Gnabry. Feels like he's been about for ages.
He has been
never predicted when he was on loan at, what was it, West Brom or somewhere.
He was tearing it up there.
He was tearing it up, but I never predicted that he would go on to be a baller in the way he has. But also, we can't ignore the additions, the new signings of Luis Diaz, and then obviously last season, Michael Olise. So for a wide man, it might be a little bit of a struggle. It might be a little bit difficult. And also, they've got some very, very promising youngsters on their books at this moment in time. So, I don't know. It brings me on to the question of what are we calling the valuation for Nicolas Jackson at this moment in time?
I mean, if Alexander Isak is going to go for 150, then surely it's 120.
190. No, seriously, what do Chelsea want, in your opinion? Bearing in mind, this would be a move abroad. So it'd be a move to... I mean, if you were Arsenal, it wouldn't be a move to a rival, would it? Because obviously they have no heritage of winning European trophies. But for us, it is kind of a move to a rival because, we've played Bayern. We play them in the Champions League. We played them often in the Champions League. Beat them in the Champions League final and won. Sometimes you get to Champions League finals, and some London clubs can win Champions League finals. Some can't. I'm not getting into all that, but what I'm saying is, right, if you're Nicolas Jackson, do you want to go to Bayern knowing that there's every likelihood you are going to play second fiddle?
Wages. So the answer could be that in terms of the money, couldn't it?
I think he's more ambitious than that.
So in a weird way, beggars can't be choosers with Nicolas Jackson. He's now third choice at Chelsea. So he's not going to play at Chelsea, is he? Go on.
I know you're on to something good here, and I don't often like to interrupt you when you're on a roll, but beggars can't be choosers is not how I would describe the actions of Nicolas Jackson in terms of like, I think he's very much acting like a chooser. He's acting like someone that wants to choose. I think that you saw earlier on in the window, the briefings, and again, like we've always got to be careful how we come at this, what standpoint, because people like clicks, they like to, back in the day we used to say they like to sell newspapers. Now we say they like to get clicks and whatnot. And obviously running a story on any Chelsea player, especially a high profile one like Nicolas Jackson, who is a bit of an enigma, who does have a personality, who everyone's got an opinion on for good or for bad, having a story on him, is going to get you clicks, isn't it?
Definitely.
So that's all I'm saying.
But back to my original point, I think that being a second choice at one of the best teams in the world under Harry Kane, who, quite frankly, you could learn from. Let's not forget, how old Nicolas Jackson? 24 max.
24 max.
Yeah, 24 max. He might still be 23. It's not a bad footballing education. And also, they're playing so many games, he will get match football at Bayern, won't he? He will play at Bayern. He's not going to play week in, week out.
He'll play bit parts. So, he'll come off the bench. He'll play in the polka, things like that.
But let me explain
even if they're taking that seriously. And let me just tell you this, right? Again, when you just said about wages, I know I'm not a fly on the wall. I know I don't know these players, but I just don't think that is the driving factor for a Nicolas Jackson.
Well, I'll tell you what the driving factor is. He's been told he can leave. That he's not only has he been told that he can leave, he's been asked to leave.
Okay, so do you know exactly what it is, what the complication here is?
Go on.
I'm going to look down at camera and say it now. Nicolas Jackson would rather Newcastle than Bayern Munich.
Did Newcastle actually want him? Because Newcastle could have got him at any point in the summer.
And that's what I find weird.
Newcastle have gone for almost every other target, so much so they were even going to bid for Samu. We were looking at him, weren't we? They were going to bid for every other player. They were looking at another player the other day. I don't know if it was a Pendo or if it was someone else.
I'll tell you exactly who they were looking at.
Who?
They bid, apparently, for Strand Larsen.
Yes.
Who was at Wolves last season.
Yeah.
Now, Strand Larsen, I saw him play a couple of times and just didn't think anything of him.
Oh, I quite rate him.
I just did. Yeah.
I'm surprised by
that. I was clearly wrong because when they bid, it set up package of up to 50 million. It might have been pounds, might have been euros, but whether it was pounds, euros, pence, I thought it was too much. I thought it was too much. I thought that's too much. I've seen that boy play. He's tall. He might be a Haaland build, but he ain't no Haaland or whatever. I looked up his goals last season.
He's scored a lot of goals. I do know. Do you know what? Do you know the reason why I know this? Because he's in my fantasy football team.
Right.
He scored a lot of goals, and bearing in mind, Wolves fucking shit.
Wolves were shit
Wolves
last
are awful.
season.
And not only are they
had
awful
17 goal contributions from Strand Larsen and probably close to between 15 and 20 goal contributions from Cunha, maybe? I don't know.
There you go.
Does that sound about right?
And that must be in total about 90% of their goals.
Yeah.
Because no one else was scoring any goals, were they? I do think if there were going to be anything to do with Newcastle or Aston Villa for Nicolas Jackson, I feel like it would have happened. And so, therefore, I think that there might be, as you say, a little bit of a cut price deal. And let's be fair, we've heard rumours that it's going to be £80 million is what the purported fee to sell Nicolas Jackson to any club would have been, right? We are not going to get anywhere near that from Bayern Munich. Nowhere near.
Well, can I tell you how I've always perceived the 80 million? Bearing in mind,
Master negotiator.
I'm like the opposite of Rain Man. I just do not understand maths. So much so that I even spell it wrong. I can't do maths, right?
2 Fs.
There you go.
MAFF.
Maths, Married at First Sight.
Yeah, great show. As a great show.
No, right.
I've got a friend on Love is Blind right now.
Have you?
Yeah, well, a guy that I used to work with.
Ooh.
Ex-colleague. Love is Blind 2, UK. A man called Kieran I used to work with.
Oh, you been watching it?
I love it.
A girl I used to know is on this season's one.
Used to know?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know the names.
I
You'd have to describe
don't know no names either. Back to Nicolas Jackson, right? Can I ask you a question?
Would you fall in love with him if he was behind a wall and you didn't know what he was like?
What, Nicolas Jackson?
If Nicolas Jackson just said to you, I'm a very good goal scorer, I know what I'm doing.
I'll tell you, that is such a load of shit.
Would you, if you had a choice between João Pedro, Liam Delap, and Nicolas Jackson, but behind the wall, not knowing who they were, would you pick João Pedro?
Nicolas Jackson's best trait, in my opinion, getting out of tight spaces.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
So I'm going to need someone that's going to need to be able to get into tight spaces. I'm joking.
Both in his phone conversations and on the pitch, Nicolas Jackson famously.
Oh dear. Let's not get into his love life.
Is he still chatting to her, or is that just gone now?
Oh, Astrid.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that was a dark day.
That was
for
a
Chelsea
dark
Football
era.
Club, wasn't it?
It wasn't just a dark day; it was a dark time.
I want to know: will it be? I'm hearing the L word, and I don't like the L word. Loan. I'm hearing loan, right?
Loan with your favourite word.
Obligation.
Obligation.
Yeah. We had an obligation to buy Jadon Sancho,
but we're master negotiators. The obligation was never a proper obligation.
Well, we better fucking make sure this one is
90% of the obligations are always obligations. We saw it with like the Lewis Hall deal, didn't we? There's been I'm sure there's been loads of other obligation deals.
So the maths thing I was going to say to you was 80 mil. I always think, right, well, obviously go high. That means it's 60, yeah? And it's 60 for a Premier League club. However, I believe that if you're selling abroad and therefore, it can only come back to bite you in the arse in the Champions League, then maybe your price is something like 45 with a sell on or something. I don't know, 45.
That feels so low.
It does feel really low.
Credible player who's 23, who's only going to improve.
I mean, look at Timo Werner, who's just gone for 100 and whatever. How much has he gone for, Werner?
I don't know.
Werner?
I don't know.
He's just gone to Liverpool. He's just gone for loads of dough.
I was just about to say Timo Werner. I don't know I don't know if he has moved.
Sorry, I'm getting the name wrong. I'm getting the name wrong. Sorry, not Timo Werner. It's Florian Wirtz. That's the one. Florian Wirtz. Yeah.
You've always rated him.
I've always rated Timo Werner. That's why I just when you watch something and it's like, hold on, I've seen this before. It's Timo Werner, isn't it? So that's all I'm saying.
You're just saying you've obviously always rated Florian Wirtz.
I've always rated both of them.
And in the Premier League, you love him.
And I thought that Timo Werner was great in the Premier League. And I think that Florian Wirtz could be just as good.
How many goals do Liverpool concede this season?
A lot more than people would have been thinking at the start of the season.
Definitely.
Because I'll tell you what, right, we're going to come back to the transfer talk, but I just want to get this in now. I ain't fucking scared of no one. I am not scared of no one. Like
City.
Why would you be scared of City?
I'm asking you, why aren't you scared of them?
Okay, what did I text in the kickoff group chat on Saturday morning?
Tell me.
No, you tell them.
I can't even remember.
See, this is why you should know.
Go on.
I texted in, was it Saturday morning they played Spurs?
Yes, 12:30.
Yeah, it was the 12:30 kickoff. I texted in straight before that saying City are getting done by Spurs here.
You did say that.
Did I?
Well, your favourite manager of all time, Thomas Frank.
There you go.
You've always rated him.
I've always rated him. But I said City
job.
City were getting done by Spurs there. I knew they weren't. Defensively, there's a lot of problems letting people down. Like Konate, when there was a little thing of, Chelsea might bid for Konate, I thought, that's all right. Like, one thing I know Konate can do is he can play that ball out from the back and try and cut through that forward line of the opposition team, and that's something that we maybe needed and whatever. Mate, I've watched him play twice this season. The fella looks awful. You look at Liverpool, right? Yeah, they've won the games, but they've had to really, really go like life and death to be able to win those games, right? Arsenal won by a 4-goal margin the other day, or was it a 5-goal margin or whatever it was?
5-1 was
I didn't think they looked that good. I know this is just going to sound like a proper biased Chelsea fan. I didn't think they looked that good. What I will give them credit for is defensively, Arsenal have looked better than both Manchester City and than Liverpool, in my opinion. So defensively, I suppose you've got to look at it and you've got to go, okay, defensively, Arsenal look good. But then again, it's in your DNA that you do bottle stuff quite a lot. So I'm not really that scared of anyone. Are you?
I think we are judging Liverpool too harshly at the moment. I still think they have immense quality, and let's be honest, there is a small chance they still do get Isak, which would be incredibly scary. They also could get a defender before the end of the window, primarily Gehi, and if it's Gehi, I think they look a lot more solid, even if they have Canate. With City, I still think Pep is going to have a better year, and I think overall they have the numbers and the quality to be able to be good this season. And then Arsenal, big unknown. They keep signing random players, but Eze is fucking good. He should have, we thought he was going to Spurs. He's a very, very good player. And I think overall they'll come good, Arsenal. So I think this is going to be a very competitive year at the top.
I think so too.
The only reason why I'm worried about our chances is actually the defence. Which is mad that you're saying this because the defence is the issue, but I'm worried about the defence.
It's weird because I agree with you. I think most Chelsea fans would agree. I don't think attacking is our issue in the slightest. No. I don't think it's our problem in the next match, even if we don't have Cole Palmer, per se. No. I don't think that's our problem. I think it's defensively, and again, doesn't mean it's a problem, but it means over the course of a 38-game season, it can become a problem. And that's why I don't get why all the briefings we're hearing are about attacking players and whatnot. But let's say, for example, that Nicolas Jackson does go.
What are you saying then? Do you reckon Bayern and do you reckon 50-odd million?
Do you know what I honestly do think? Bayern, and I reckon a loan with an obligation for a package of around 50-odd million.
I think that they won't sanction the move, and I think he'll be reintegrated into the squad unless it's a permanent transfer.
Okay, let me, off the back of that, do you think it would be a good thing or a bad thing for him to be reintegrated into the squad? Because, let me tell you this, last season, as a backup to Nicolas Jackson, we had Mark Gue. And then when Nicolas Jackson got injured, we went, well, we didn't think Gue was going to be injured and all. Hold on. Who determined Gue was a good enough backup for a team that are competing in the most competitive league in world football for Champions League spots? That is not something I go along with. So now I look at this. Let's say we call João Pedro number one. Who's the backup? Liam Delap. Is that a good backup?
Very good backup.
Very good backup.
I love that. In fact, I like to see them play together.
There you go. And there's the possibility they could play together. But what if they are playing together? And what if one of them goes down with a hammy? Then you've only got one there. And let's say, for example, it's Liam Delap that goes down. João Pedro, we saw him go into the 10 the other day. We've seen him on the left wing. Everywhere we've seen him, I thought he looked class.
Quality.
But I thought he looked good in the 10 the other day when Cole Palmer had to come out with a, obviously, pre-game injury, which we'll speak about in a second. If, let's say, for example, a Liam Delap, who's a more out-and-out number 9, got injured, and there were injuries across the pitch, and we didn't manage to get the Xavi Simons deal or the Garnacho deal or whatever done, I think that we could seriously miss a Nicolas Jackson. So, if it doesn't happen, I hope he's reintegrated. That's what I would say.
Can I explain the maths, MAFS, to you of this situation? I'm sure you've heard a lot of stuff about the A-list, the Champions League A-list, and our recent European, I suppose, sanctions that we've suffered. Have you heard about this?
I've heard about it, and I think it's a load of total bollocks designed to try and get Chelsea in trouble, or for the media to create a narrative to try and get Chelsea in trouble. Because what I'm hearing, you can tell me if I'm wrong, what I am hearing is that to be eligible to play in the Champions League, we must raise funds, and the funds must be raised from player sales that were registered in our Conference League squad.
And not just the Conference League squad, but the knockout stage Conference League squad.
That's mental.
But that's the truth. That's what's actually happened.
Yeah, brilliant. So that means that João Felix, no, not eligible. Doesn't count.
No. Chilwell, no. Sterling, no. There's a few other players. Renato Vega,
no.
Exactly. There's loads of others.
Yeah.
A lot of the players that we've sold, Carney Chukwuemeka, not included.
Okay. And can I ask a question? Because listen, we always give praise to loopholes and the way that we run the club and whatnot, or the way that they run the club. We do give some praise to it. Has this been sprung on us, or did we know about this?
We knew about it since the ruling from UEFA has come down. Yeah, we did.
And when did that come down? After or prior to us announcing that knockout stage squad?
After. After announcing the squad. Oh God, yeah.
Well, then it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
No, go fuck yourself.
Well, this is the thing, and this is why Do you remember the moment in which we found out that Nicolas Jackson was on the market? We were all really shocked about that for two reasons. One, we didn't necessarily at the time think that João Pedro was an out-and-out striker. And two, we thought that Nicolas Jackson had done enough to be able to be within the squad, at least as a backup, if Liam Delap was going to be the number 9, right? We expected that. But what I think they've done is they looked at those A-list players and they've gone, which ones haven't necessarily performed as we expected? Nkunku was the obvious one, because he was barely playing anyway, and we could get a lot of money for him. Let's be honest. I think,
mate, it's really easy.
I think they've got Jackson too.
It's really easy. If you go out the ones that have been registered in that squad, I'm not sure whether the Mudryk ban was there already, but Mudryk
was.
Okay, so he's not there. But if he was registered,
Mudryk was registered.
Mudryk was
even though he was banned.
Yeah. So this is what I'm saying, right? Yeah. So Mudryk would be one that we would cash in on. Madueke would, and I'm not. I know you'll argue it. You'll think I'm trying to wind you up. I'm not. I'm going off of the form. If you're cashing in on Madueke, if you're cashing in on Jackson, right? So if you're doing that, it goes out of the ones that were registered. Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, not because he's not good, but just because we didn't utilise him and there's not the room for him in our team, because obviously we have already got a load of central attacking midfielders, and obviously he's a central attacking midfielder, which I've said to you for ages now, which you don't believe and I do believe, but he is a central attacking midfielder. But regardless, right, didn't deserve it, would have been sold. Elsewhere in there would have been Mudryk would have been sold, Nkunku would have been sold, Madueke would have been sold, Jackson would have been sold. Any other weak links I can think of? Sancho got shifted back to Old Trafford.
He doesn't count as being sold.
And again, I just use the phrase weak links. They're not really weak links. It's just the fact that we've levelled up. So, yeah, there would have been plenty of players that would have been in there. But also, there would have been players that wouldn't have gone out on loan moves had we have known this. You've got to remember, 70, 80, 90% of our loan moves were to?
Gone.
What club?
Tell me.
Strasbourg.
Yeah.
Which meant we were in control of doing that. So we had it in our own hands. So this is a load of bollocks, mate, just designed to try and get at Chelsea. Oh, let me guess who came up with the rule. Would it be Jamie Carragher by any chance?
The fact of the matter is, right, if we do sell Nkunku and Jackson, we will raise more than enough money for both Garnacho and Simmons. If we don't manage to sell either of them, and one of them goes on loan, one of those other players will be sacrificed. So that means that I think there's a realistic possibility that we start the next stage of the Chelsea season with Jackson or Nkunku in the squad. And if I was a betting man, I'd probably guess it would be Nkunku, because Jackson would be easier to offload. What do you think?
Yeah, Jackson's definitely going to be easier to offload, I think.
Do you think we sell both of them? Do you think they're in our squad after the end of the transfer window, both Nkunku and Jackson?
No, I think one of them's there. One of them's here. Don't know what one, but I think one of them's here. But I'll tell you what, I was looking at the list and we've really started to get rid of some players now. Like, we've started to get some good fees for players as well.
300
You're looking at 300 mil, is that
what we've raised?
Yeah, that's
so
good.
far. That's insane. And we've still got a load of players to offload.
Yeah.
Still got loads of players.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure we'll talk about.
Yeah. So we've still got a few that are going out the door. Am I right to assume that at the minute, Chelsea in a race against time, we've got 4 or 5 days until the transfer window closes now. I'll try and do a little live stream or something like that for that. Now, am I reading in between the lines here and getting it wrong, or do we kind of need to make a couple of sales until we can get these deals done for the players that we want to come in?
Otherwise, they would have been done already, so you're completely correct.
Okay.
So if we do want to get the two that we mentioned, which I feel like are the main two, then yeah, we need to get rid of other players.
Okay. So the
it's
two that we've mentioned...
it's mainly to register them for the Champions League.
Yeah, and the two that we've mentioned are Xavi Simons and Garnacho. Garnacho is turning down moves to different clubs left, right and centre. And you've got mate, I spoke about the fact that I wasn't overly eager for Garnacho to come to Chelsea. I also had no problem with it. I just wasn't overly eager. I would rather Xavi Simons. There were wingers on the market around the time like Eze, who I would have rather of. But we are where we are now. At this point in time, I have to give it to him, man. The fact that He's turned down a Napoli. The fact that other clubs have come in for him, the Saudi Pro League's come in for him, which would have been big wages for a player at that thing. He said, I want to go and play for Chelsea. You've got to give him a bit of credit there. You've got to give him credit. And I think that this could be one, very much like Sancho, that goes on to surprise a lot of people. And I think it's the more realistic one out of the two. But is it the better one out of the two?
It comes in as a club legend, doesn't he? He's already just Chelsea through and through. I'm surprised he doesn't have a Chelsea hat. Did you see there was a picture of him very young, maybe 8 or 9 years old, with his entire family wearing a Chelsea shirt in Argentina?
No, they weren't. Was there really?
Yeah, there was. There was one recently.
There you go.
So maybe boyhood Chelsea fan. Which, you can't blame him, can you? You know, you can't blame him. I go backwards and forwards with the Garnacho one. I think overall we do desperately need depth on the left-hand side, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean... I know we are going to talk about Gittins in more detail, but I've been not underwhelmed by him, but I think he's going to need some time to adapt. I think he's a great player. I'm really looking forward to seeing him playing more, but I still think he needs some time to adapt.
I don't think that he is going to make that adaptation, and what I mean by adaptation is become a serious first-team player. I don't think, depending on the recruitment strategy, that he's going to do that this season, from what I've seen, which is only, all in about 70 minutes of football across the two, actual games. Obviously, he looked good in spells against Leverkusen. AC Milan, I think, got some minutes against. I can't remember. But he looked good in those games. Good dribbler of the ball. Very raw. Very raw. Like... to a point where it's mad that I'm saying this, but more raw than Esteval.
Which is the point I was going to make. I totally agree with that. I can't believe that Esteval has come into the league so quickly and looks so seamless in a game that he did against West Ham. Obviously not the best opponents.
Really? Are you telling the truth, though? You just said, I can't believe.
I can't believe it.
Nah, you're just using that because as the Brits, we just use, I can't believe as a phrase. You can believe it.
I mean, I understand why. He had all of the minerals and all of the quality to be able to do it.
Are you surprised?
I am surprised because he's an 18-year-old kid. Yeah, but he's an 18-year-old Brazilian coming into the Premier League for the first time. You know how much more physical it is. You know how much more demanding it is. You know how much pressure he's under. There's been loads of players that have crumbled under that pressure. I'm very surprised how quickly he hit the ground.
And as well, Brazilians, they're only good young. They don't go old.
And there you go. You got a lot of shit for that, didn't you?
Thiago Silva, what the fuck?
How did you forget about Thiago Silva?
That's
that
mental.
Was a bad. That was
Although
bad.
he is,
we both forgot him.
He is kind of the exception to the rule, though. No,
and also centre back.
Yeah, he is kind of the exception.
We were talking about attacking players and midfielders, I think mainly.
To be honest, yeah. Although he probably looked 50 when he was 20, I think Alex played at quite a high level until quite late. But then saying that, he didn't even used to start for Brazil.
Thiago Silva.
Alex.
Oh, God, yeah, Alex didn't know.
Alex, someone about him.
No,
Alex.
Yeah. Great player.
Yeah.
He was in your draft, wasn't he?
You know who looked like Alex?
Go on.
When he shaved his head? Oriol Romeu.
Another quality player.
Yeah.
Legend.
Yeah.
Legends of the game.
I can bring these ones just like that.
Do you know what? Such fond memories of
And
Romeu.
do you know how I
And
do
he
it?
fucked about
Do
three
you
other
know
teams
how I've
by
got
against
such a
him as
good
well.
memory for naming players?
No.
Do you not want to know this?
I desperately do want to know. What's your secret? What's your trick?
It's hardly a secret, my friend. It's Lion's Mane.
Why does that improve your memory?
Lion's Mane, I don't know. You'd have to ask the guys at Supreme. But Supreme Life, Supreme CBD, they were originally, right? Supreme CBD back in the day.
Yeah.
They've now gone Supreme Life because they're selling all sorts. Lion's Mane, Reshi, everything like that. And they are the absolute bollocks, my friend. I love them. They make me so much more concentrated. You watch this podcast now, level up now. I'm going to take my Lion's Mane capsule. So
you're going two of them, are you? Wild
I'm going double up. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going hardcore today.
Crazy.
Speaking of hardcore, can we give the hardcore a little update on the Cole Palmer injury?
Of what I've heard, he's not going to be available for the Fulham game. So we saw him go out in the warm-up against West Ham. We knew that, that was a really tough one. And by all accounts, he's actually really suffered with that groin injury for a while now. Apparently, he's been playing with a groin injury for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So we saw him struggling. He doesn't play. And then he didn't train yesterday or today, I believe. So Tuesday being today.
Too tired, mate, from having it off at Carnival.
Mate, I'm not quite sure on that. Like, is he allowed to do that? I wasn't quite sure whether he was allowed to go out and go crazy on the town.
He's all right.
Bearing in mind he's injured. I was a bit worried about that because that's kind of one of those things where you shouldn't necessarily publicise.
What, going Carnival?
Well, not necessarily the place, but like just going out and being in a place where there's loads of drink and whatever. If that was Noni Madueke going to a nightclub, we would have been angry.
But he weren't going to a nightclub.
But it's
doing
a similar
daytime thing.
Yeah,
No,
fair.
it's not at all similar.
Is it not?
At all similar? No. And I don't think if it was Madueke, Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo, anyone I don't think they'd get criticism, even if they were injured for going.
Well, good, because I was worried
carnival.
about
that. But what I would say is this: if it was a player with less money in the bank,
yeah.
Then yeah, I can see why some people would be like, oh fucking hell, mate. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, look, like, completely different. He was there to support the team, but some people made comments, including myself, about Mudryk going out to the final.
Yeah, was it in Poland?
For Krakow for
Poland, yeah.
Yeah. Some people made comments about that.
Yeah.
The comments I made about that were more so because actually Mudryk, I don't think, consulted the club. And that's why he wasn't on the club official thing. And I actually think that suspension means that you're banned from club activity. So therefore, he could be there maybe as a spectator, saying that. That's why I spoke about that. I don't think there's anything wrong with a Cole Palmer.
Do you not rate that as well?
Eh?
Do you not rate that he went out by himself?
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's Chelsea. I like it.
Yeah.
But with Cole Palmer, I'm not too worried because what I think is this. I think he misses the Fulham game, sits out the international break, and then that's basically like his pre-season, mate.
Yeah, fair enough. Is he going to be match fit after that?
Even if he takes a match?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter too much.
Right? By the end of this window, worst case, we have Garnacho. Best case, we have Xavi Simons and Garnacho. Or possibly we have Xavi Simons. I don't know. If it was down to me, I'd have Xavi Simons. But regardless of all of this, at the end of this window, we're still going to have Esteval. We're still going to have Pedro. Jamie Gittins is raw, but sometimes a raw player like Noni Madueke has done in the past can win you games. We're still going to have João Pedro. We're still going to have Leon Delap. And we're still going to have Enzo and Caicedo and all them boys threading balls through to them. So there are no longer any real actual arguments that can be made that Chelsea are a one-man team and Chelsea are going to crumble without Cole Palmer. Sorry. That's not how it runs no more. So whether Cole Palmer is out of this team for 2 games, for 3 games, I'm not worried. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. Would I start him if he was there? Of course I would. I'd start him in every position of the pitch. Start him twice over. But I'm not worried. And in seasons gone by, I have been. Last season, you take Caicedo out of the team, I'm shitting myself. But you take Cole Palmer out of the team, I'm worried. Yeah? This season, not as worried. No,
that's a good state of affairs to be in. It really is. What a quality player to have, and to actually have the squad depth to be able to deal with injuries like that. It's very, very reassuring.
Yeah. Axel Disasi to Bournemouth is another one that I've seen. What do you reckon the price tag would be on that?
I'm hearing a loan on that one as well, which I'm a bit worried about.
A loan?
Loan with an obligation doesn't do anything for me. If it's 20 million, 25 million, I'd be happy, and I'd take it. Would you?
I take it, yeah. And we've done a bit of business with Bournemouth already, multiple windows in a row now, so hopefully something can come off there. 2 deals to Dortmund. Kane Chukwuemeka to Dortmund and Aaron Anselmino to Dortmund. We'll start off with Kane Chukwuemeka. This one isn't one that we've made much of a profit on, but we have got a very high sell-on fee in the contract, and that is really, really significant from the club side of things because obviously Dortmund are a selling club, aren't they? They're not really a club that you retire at. They are a selling club. A player of the age of Kane Chukwuemeka, if he can go there and tear it up, you'd imagine that they would sell him on for more than they buy him for. But even if they sold him on for the same as they bought him for or less, you've still got that sell-on
Still
fee.
got money.
So
yeah, coming through. So where's he going to end up playing in 2 years' time then, Kane? Because when Borussia Dortmund originally sell him in that sort of period, where is he actually going to end up? Because he's going to come back to the Premier League.
Depends on how good he's been, mate. Depends on how good he's been. But systematically, you can never... Right, let's go. Everyone's got the same manager. Yeah? Which, obviously, probably...
Based on the top 6,
60% of clubs aren't going to have the same manager, yeah? Say everyone's got the same manager.
Yeah.
Where does he go for probably too high a money? I think we both know, didn't we?
Go on. United?
Formationally, yeah.
United, he could work. Spurs, I think he could work.
I think he works better at United.
I could see him at Arsenal. Okay.
I kind of, in a weird way, I don't like it because I don't like them to have success. And so far, they're not having any. They've got 1 point. But I kind of, in a weird way, like what United are doing. And I kind of think that 10s...
Are you taking the piss
United kind of have a system that... You know what they've done?
Are you taking the piss?
They have got the Temu version of Chelsea's Champions League final kind of...
It's very true. They basically try to assemble as many number 10s as they can, and they have foregone every single winger with the chance and the hope, the small chance that they'll just make it work. And and I'm sorry to say, mate, I don't know why you're so high on them, because Amrin is getting sacked before Christmas, and they are absolutely awful.
It's a big shout. I'm not high on them at all. They're just a little bit better this season.
Let me just ask the question I did the other day. Do you rate them?
Nah. So, but who do I rate? Really?
Yeah.
Like, who do I rate?
Who do you rate?
Oh, throw some at me. I'll tell you if I rate them.
Well, you don't vote. We said Liverpool, City. You don't rate.
Obviously, I rate Liverpool and City.
Arsenal.
I don't really fear them. Nah.
Villa.
I'll rate Villa. Not this season, though.
Newcastle?
Yeah, like Newcastle.
And then beyond that, it's tough, isn't it?
What, to find another team in the league that I like?
That you rate?
That I rate?
Yeah. Brighton?
Nah.
Brentford? Yeah. Fulham?
Yeah. Fulham? Yeah.
Everton?
Palace? Everton this season?
I think Everton are dark horses this year.
Yeah. Just quickly,
any more transfers?
With the Carney Chukwuemeka one,
yeah.
I'm sort of okay with that. I want to know where you stand on the Aaron Anselmino loan. Because the first thing's this, you got to go there and win a place in the team. Carney Chukwuemeka will tell you that. He went there on loan last season. And you know, he I'm not saying struggled, but he had to win a place in the team. Anselmino, right? There's always the thing. Would you rather go to a club at the bottom half of the Premier League table where, yeah, we can keep a closer eye on you, and yeah, because you're a defender, you're going to be called into action a lot more, but also in that sort of formative progression stage of your career, is it going to do you a bit of damage to be fucking conceding about 6 goals per week? Or do you go somewhere where not only do you need to break into the team, then once you're in the team, you're only really getting tested that much in your defending ability rather than your ability to just, you know, play on the ball and be on the ball and stuff like that in probably like 60% of your matches. Do you know what I mean? Which is very low to mean that in 40% of the games you play, you're not really going to do anything to bump up your sofa score ratings or anything like that. Do you know what I mean?
I do. I think with them, with Borussia Dortmund specifically, they've got a lot of injuries at centre-back at the moment and some significant injuries. And so I feel like putting in a young player that they know could get better throughout the season without the knowledge that they then have to pay off a huge amount of fee at the end of it is a good deal for them. Is it a good deal for us? Well, yes, because it's a player that wouldn't be playing for us anyway, which is mad to say, bearing in mind all of the injuries we have, and he can play on the left. But I think that's just the truth of it. Then is it a good deal for him? He gets to play in the Champions League. He gets to play in Germany, which is a league where he can progress and grow. Does he come back from Borussia Dortmund to Chelsea as a better player? Yes. Is Anselmino ever going to be a starter for Chelsea? Do you want my opinion on this?
I could guess your opinion.
Go on.
So you're saying no, but I actually think that out of all of the defenders that we've signed, right, under Clearlake, and I'm on about... So I'm going to exclude the likes of a Tosin, maybe a Disasi, because he was, 25 when he came in, Tosin free agent, things like that. So I'm going on about, like, young defenders, right? Out of all the ones we've signed under Clearlake who weren't already proven, so say, for example, Wesley Fofana was young, but he was proven, he had 2 seasons of Premier League football, stuff like that. I think he's probably the one that I'm maybe the most excited about, or one of the most excited about from what I've seen him play. Now, saying that, do you know who it was? It was Renato Vega.
Yeah.
But
So what happened with him?
we just weren't proper
And
Chelsea,
also,
was he?
I remember us watching some pre-season games and going, Cesare Casadei looks like a top player. He's going to be a really good player one day. I think that Anselmino is one of those players that is he's a sacrificial lamb for the PSR gods. And I think that he'll be sold for a far higher amount than we bought him for, and he'll go and have a wonderful career in Italy, Spain or Germany.
Do you know what? To kind of cap this off, right, and I'm going to ask you about one more player, so don't click off yet. But to kind of cap this off, right, I don't want to sit here and make this let's all praise the board. Let's all give ourselves a pat on the back because we were patient and whatever. But when you look at clubs like Aston Villa, this transfer window, it's not out of choice, is it?
They're struggling.
They're struggling. It's not out of choice. No. Yeah? When you look at... I don't even want to say Newcastle as much because Newcastle, have just been very unlucky. I'm not saying their hands aren't being tied, but they've also been very unlucky with players turning them down, stuff like that and whatever. But when you look at how PSR is affecting teams now and stuff like this, you know how we were having that general sort of moan, and it continues really even into last season where it's like, oh, Amari Kellerman, brilliant, great. Are we ever going to see him play for Chelsea? No. Do you know what I mean? And it kind of used to annoy me a little bit because I used to be like, you took the nostalgia out of... It's the same as I said earlier on about personal terms agreed. When personal terms are agreed, that was the here we go, yeah? And I feel like when you sign a player, there should be a euphoric feeling, a feeling of optimism, confidence, what's to come, excitement. And they zap the excitement out of that, and that's why I used to get so pissed off. But now with PSI and with the way things are going, you're actually starting to go, okay, some of these moves might need doing. So say, for example, your example you gave of if we did get a Garnacho for 25 but moved him on for 35, I understand them now, and I think I'm going to try and make a conscious effort to be less over it.
It's
be a bit
business.
more positive.
Well, that's the thing. Basically, if you don't have a massive stadium that brings in loads of money, there's only so many things that you can do to create revenue. And so, to be fair to the owners, they do have to do the player trading model. Yeah. If you look at all of the other clubs in the Premier League, very few of them do it. And some of the biggest clubs are some of the worst at doing it. Like Man United haven't got any money in for any of their players. No significant money, right? Arsenal, again, they don't really sell players.
I think Man U fixed the leak in the roof, though, this
They did,
summer.
and you know what? That was 50 million quid. So
yeah.
Fair play to them for doing it. Fair play. So I think that's the way that it's going to have to go for Chelsea now. We're going to have to raise money in that way. And bloody hell, I tell you one thing, we have raised a fuckload of money. This could be one of the biggest summers in terms of revenue generation that a football club has seen.
Okay.
Ever.
One last question. Chill Dog. Now, obviously, our transfer windows around Europe close within the next 4 or 5 days, but it's still 2.5 weeks for Turkey and the Saudi Pro League. Do you think that we see either Raheem Sterling or Chilwell get moves, possibly loan moves to Premier League clubs, things like that? Or do you think they wait and then maybe we see it in that 2.5 week deadline? And the reason I ask that is, although I don't have any news on Raheem Sterling, there are reports that Frank Lampard could be looking to bring Chilwell to Coventry. Now, if anyone can do it, it's Frank. However, it would have been way more likely to do it under Roman Abramovich than it is under Clear Lake, just because Frank could call up Roman and go, come on, Roman, and Roman would go, oh, all right, Frank, I remember those little 300 goals you scored for us. You can have him, right? Can you just not break my heart, because I'm not a Coventry fan, but there you go. There's a team that I will support.
They did
this
just
season.
Win 7-0, didn't they?
There you go. There you go. Look very, very good. Can you tell me why, from a MAFS standpoint, maths, can you tell me why it's not going to happen?
250 grand a week is why it's not going to happen. He's on a lot of money, isn't he? He's on a huge wage. Maybe it's not as high as 250. Maybe
what do you reckon their top earners?
I mean, probably 30, probably maybe 25.
Really?
Maybe less than that.
Nah.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. There's not a lot of people in the Championship that are on much more than that.
You don't reckon they got anyone on 50 a week?
If you tell me now they got someone on 50 a week, I'll be very surprised.
No, I'm not saying they do. I don't know.
They definitely don't.
Okay.
There's no way, because you couldn't afford it. PSR, you couldn't afford it in the Championship.
So what are you going to do if you're Chilwell? Just sit it out now.
If you're Chilwell, I find it actually a bit disingenuous that Chilwell is Championship quality, by the way. He would want to be seeing himself. I mean, could Chilwell be playing in the Champions League for a club? Could Chilwell go and reunite, maybe not reunite, but go to Fenerbahce and play under Jose Mourinho?
Yeah.
Jose.
Yeah, but I don't know what Fenerbahce's left back's like. So it'd be disingenuous for me to just go, yeah, they might have a wicked little left back that I don't even know about. And then it'd be like, well, no. Do you know what I mean? And to predict the future, you must look into the past. And the past will tell you, went to Crystal Palace on loan. Trevor Chalobah went there on loan. How did Trevor Chalobah do?
He did very well.
Did very, very well.
Did very well indeed.
Very well. How did Chilwell do?
He was second fiddle to Mitchell, who's just signed a new contract and is still playing there. Yeah, I think if I'm Chilwell now, I'm trying to get my way to another European nation or perhaps Turkey, and I'm trying to get as much cash as I still can get because this is probably my last opportunity at a very good bumper wage bracket. It is.
Ship could have sailed, in my opinion.
This is so crazy though because his quality has not fallen off that much. I know he's had injuries. His quality has not fallen off that much. Did you
rate him when you saw him play for Palace?
I don't think I saw him play that much for Palace.
I watched him play.
Did he play for Palace?
Yeah, I watched him play for Palace. Not saying like every game, but I watched him play. It wasn't a full 90 he got. But yeah, I didn't, I didn't think he looked like a cut above
very
anyone else
well for Chelsea as a number 10.
What, against Borough? Yeah. Was that the game? Against Borough? I remember that game. Yeah.
He played very well. So maybe he's a number 10.
Ran the show that day and we won about 5-0.
Do you not think in a World Cup year he would, do you not think he would rate himself as trying to get into that Tommy T squad?
I've said this point time in, time out. But when the players aren't fucking moving, it starts to make you beg the question, are they aiming for this? We know Grealish is. Do you know what I mean? Grealish didn't look at Everton and go, it's beneath me. Relegation battle. David Moyes. He didn't look at that. I think other players maybe need to do the same.
going for him, yeah.
Yeah. I think other players
maybe those clubs don't want Chilwell.
Yeah, there you go.
Which I'm surprised by. So yeah, no, I think if I'm being honest, he'll probably go to Turkey. And then to answer your Raheem Sterling question, because we should talk about that very briefly as well, I think that he goes to Fulham. I think he'll go on loan to Fulham. That'd be my bet because he wants to stay in London.
I can see it happening.
Would he do well there?
I don't know whether he gets in ahead of Iwobi. He's the left winger, isn't he? Or is he the right winger? He's the left winger. Iwobi's on the left.
I think he plays everywhere for them. I think he plays all over the front line. You know better than me.
I mean, if he weren't getting on this sounds like a stretch and this sounds like a backhander and I'm just trying to slip it in and keep a straight face or I'm really trying to have a dig, but I'm not. But if he weren't getting no minutes for Arsenal, then does he get that many minutes for Fulham? Because I'll tell you one thing, right? What's his name weren't getting no minutes for Arsenal? The kid that came through the academy. Head's gone. Nah. Double barrel. Smith Rowe. He weren't. I know he had injuries and whatnot. He weren't getting no minutes for Arsenal. You go for them. He scores, I think, a debut goal, something like that, and you think, yeah, whatever. What's happened with him? I ain't heard much of him.
He scored the other day.
Did he?
He's done all right.
Has he been injured?
Yeah, but he's done all right for them. He's a solid sort of plodder of a player.
And he starts every game.
Near enough, yeah. Near enough. I think there's a twist in the tail of the Raheem Sterling. I still think Raheem Sterling will get a relatively good move that will surprise us.
Let's hope so, because then hopefully we can get some sort of money for him. I just don't think it comes off. I want you lot to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I will be dropping a Chelsea against Fulham preview. I think that will come out tomorrow night, but I'll keep you lot updated. Subscribe to Joey and Josh. It's linked in the description, as is Supreme, where you can get 40% off your orders on there, as is Nyla Apparel, where you can get 10% off your orders. They're all in the description. Hit the like on the video, subscribe if you're not already, and we will see you all in the next one.